8, ready to engage.
The beautiful thing about this team is we've grinded together.
Prepared for the mission.
We've had OTAs, we've had training camp, we've bonded.
They're the #1 team in the league right now. They're undefeated.
Ready, all systems. Negative.
It's a testament to the work we put in as a team. We put in so much valuable time together to go out there and play at a high level.
All systems are go.
Mission 8, on standby.
This team is hungry and most importantly humble.
Pressure, pressure, pressure. Maximum extension. Touchdown, Jalen Hurts. Ascended to airspace. Primary ignition. Launch. Journey en route.
There is no arrival, there's only the journey.
Journey to Houston. T.J. Edwards.
Houston, we've got a problem here.
We are having fun.
Vibe check.
We just enjoying each other and playing ball, doing what we love.
We strive for something that we may never get, but we continue to go chasing.
Well, what's up, folks? It is Thursday night, or as I usually say, it is Friday Eve, Thursday night, for those who like to keep track of the days of the week. And yes, it is a Philly doubleheader night. No, not the Phillies doubleheader. The Eagles and the Phillies, both on which originally we know that obviously the Phillies should have been off today. But because of the rain day on Monday, that had pushed the games back. So last night was a shellacking of, I don't know what kind of proportions, but hopefully the Phillies end up bouncing back. Also, the fans are lit up, including Fuji down there at Reliant Stadium, as he is outside, out front of the Thursday Night Football team out there with Amazon Prime. So if you guys are tuning in, maybe you'll see Fuji flailing around. I don't know what he's going to be doing out there, but all I know he's acting like a crazy wild man out there. So, and I don't know if I end up losing him on the phone or not. Maybe he's still there, but nevertheless, it is Eagles versus Houston, Phillies versus Houston, if you look at it as well, with the Astros. Series tied 2-2. On the mound, we hope to see a major comeback from last night because at this point, yes, it has to be a must-win situation for the Phillies because now games 6 and 7 over the weekend will be down there in Houston. And the last thing you want is to go down 3-2 and giving all that momentum to Houston. So would we all like to see the best of 7? Probably so. As Ryan said, it was going to be the best of 6, and he could be right. So we're hoping that it'll be for the Phillies the right way. But again, lots to talk about. Also, Mattress Mac from Houston apparently got egged last night, and not physically, but somebody must have really gotten to him. For him to lay out the FU bombs, we will bring up the footage. It's about 6 seconds long. And I'm letting everybody know right now, there's going to be some verbal words that you may not want to hear, but he's going to be saying the FU word a couple times. Also, Sean Salisbury, a great friend of the show, which I said to him playing around, that I said, oh, by the way, because he had a video made for me, and he sent it to me, and I told him that, thanks for the video. I really do appreciate it, and I'll never ask for anything again. Now, of course, I'm playing around with Sean only because I was expecting the video. If you guys haven't checked out his feed, first of all, look for Sean Salisbury in his feed because like 2 or 3 days in a row, he came out with some killer ones for basically defending Houston. Not that he's defending them by any means, but saying what he's saying about Houston and then about the Phillies. So Sean was nice enough to send me a video, which I'll end up playing a little bit later on as well. Thank you for that, Sean. I do appreciate it. And anyways, we'll get into it. Lots to get into. Obviously, the Sixers and the Flyers, of course, they're playing as well. Sixers end up losing last night to the Wizards. Hopefully they'll get the season turned around. Thankfully, it's early. And the Flyers continue doing what they've been doing. So with that being said, and by the way, the co-host being live in Houston, I might key him up, but I'm hoping he can hear me at this point. Make sure that you refrain upon a lot of things you were saying beforehand. Just saying. Because I don't want you to come out here and dropping all kinds of crazy bombs or anything else like that. But nevertheless, it is episode 169. I believe, hopefully, Kevin Mensch will end up joining us back here momentarily. I know he was out on a soccer field, but lots to get into. Good time to have fun. It's great to be a Philly fan right now, and we're hoping that the Union can pull off the win on Saturday. With that all being said, also don't forget to please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel because it does help us provide you with more content, better content, and more importantly, to make sure that we can keep the numbers up accurately because the better the numbers are, the better it is altogether. So don't forget also to visit our sponsors, Philly Sports Trips, who have made the trip down here to Houston, Tampa Joe's at 9316 Anderson Road, and lgdirect.net for any payment solutions and or apparel. Please visit lgdirect.net. And with that being said, let's get the show underway. I'm Angel, and this is Broad Street South. I'll bring on the entire gang here all at once because, unfortunately, we're running short for time since the games start here momentarily. But the one done, first of all, I'm going to tell you one thing. Your song choice of last week with the Bucks, okay, it was just terrible. That Orlando Magic, abracadabra, shalakazam nonsense that you want me to play tonight, that is probably worse than the actual Buck stuff.
Sorry, I had to adjust my headphones there. I'm guessing you were just bashing that song right there. And then, yeah, that is a fantastic song. I think it's amazing. Hocus Pocus, Alakazam. Like, come on. That is amazing. That is so 90s. That is the Shaq era. That is the best. But listen, we got a big day here. Obviously, I'm going to be rooting for the Texans in football because, you know, my buddy played for the Texans, so I got to root for them, and I do like the Texans. But I'll be rooting for the Phillies, and I'll also be rooting as well for my Orlando Magic tonight. We take on the Golden State Warriors, but Angel, thanks for being on. Happy to be here.
No problem, Brian. Thank you for coming back once again, sir. I do appreciate it.
Welcome. I'm Ryan F. It's great to be with everybody this evening. Phillies get no hit last night. Eagles looking to go 8-0. Let's go. Flyers are in full swing, obviously. Union have a chance. It's a great time to be a Philadelphia sports fan.
It sure is. And Sean will be back here momentarily. He was on with us, but I know he was having a little bit of difficulty, so he'll be back here shortly. And on the line, oh boy, I'm almost afraid to do this.
This is going to be trouble.
And here's the crowd noise. Fuji.
The man on the line. The man on the line is live from Reliant Stadium in Houston, Texas. Sitting right in Thursday Night Football, the panels here. Everybody's out. Everybody's jacked. The Birds are jacked. Everybody's jacked at Citizens Bank Park. Everybody get hyped. Bills, Eagles, it's on tonight. The Texans, the Astros, Game 5, the Birds, and Reliant kicking it all. How's everybody doing?
Well,
pretty good. How about yourself?
Let's go Texans. I'm just kidding.
Damn good. We got the MVP, Jalen Hurts, kicking it off right here in Houston, in his backyard.
Well, first of all, how electric has the crowd been all day long?
Well, I'm right here, and the Eagles are donning their white uniforms, and everybody's just hyped. I'm getting hyped like the Rock, Dwayne Johnson himself. Finally, the booze has come back to Houston. Jalen Hurts is going back home to Houston.
Oh, my God.
I'm quite sure everybody's pretty hyped down there for obviously Jalen has returned. I'm also pretty certain that he's pretty happy playing back home in Houston. So we're hoping to see what the Eagles end up doing. But Fuji, first of all, as I know you've been probably partying all day long, what are your thoughts on today's game?
No, I mean, hey, the Birds just got to come out and just smack the deep. The defense just has to bury this offense. There ain't no Brandon Cooks playing. Nico Collins, he's scratched. So, I mean, this Eagles team ought to blow this team out by 40 points. I mean, who knows? It's any given Sunday, any given Thursday, whatever, Monday, whatever you want to put out there. This team has to. You can't take this team lightly. You just got to drop the hammer. Let the Eagles take care of business. Let the Phillies take care of Houston. I mean, tonight we got, Verlander 0-7. The man choked last week, giving up those 5 runs. The Phillies just got to come out and just start swinging the bat at this bum. I mean, you got Thor, so Thor will be showing dropping his hammer right on Verlander. He has the World Series experience from 2015 against the Royals, so let him go out there after Tommy John surgery and do it as the Birds walk off the field. Let's go, Birds! Did you hear the crowd behind me?
Yeah, man. Love the energy.
I'm right down here in the end zone, right outside the locker room. L-E-S Eagles!
This might be the best sound clips we have ever gotten from Fuji. Ever.
Probably so. I'm just hoping that everybody's ears are being blown out on the audio replay because I'm pretty sure it's going to be quite interesting.
I'm sitting here right in front of Tony Gonzalez, Fitzmagic, Richard Sherman. You know they got to hear my fat mouth.
You know, I'm quite sure. And I wouldn't be surprised if they don't decide to welcome you up to the booth.
Try to get
Yeah, well,
shout out.
when he got other people down here with tattoos and jabronis doing this and doing that, and I'll just be nice and keep it moving.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love our Philly fans. I love the Broad Street South fans. Oh, wait, is that Jeff Lurie from the distance? Yeah, it is. Old Jeff, where's Howie, my friend?
Yeah, your best friend. But like,
I don't see Howie right now.
Chris,
I see Jeff Lurie. Probably about a 50 feet distance, but, you know.
Well, just make sure you say hi to your best friend.
I don't see him, though. He's hiding from me.
Probably,
Howie.
or he's going to come up behind you, one of the two.
He's going to tickle him.
Yeah, probably so. Chris Kane says Verlander better play like Ryan or Clemens tonight. As he's laughing about it. Chris, thank you for tuning in. We do appreciate it. And if you're listening in, obviously, Fuji being live down there at Reliant Stadium, Eagles taking on the Houston Texans.
I should take on the Houston Texans.
Yeah, I'm quite sure you would, Fuji. I'm quite sure you would.
Me and The Rock will take them all out. Body, choke slam all 53 of them. Rock bottom. The people's elbow, the people's whatever.
Eat before he left.
If you smell what the Rock is.
Oh my God.
Lord. All right, Fuji.
I was gonna.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Fuge. I don't know if you can hear me. Okay. What do you think about the Phillies tonight? I don't know. What do you think about the Phillies tonight? Breaking out those baby blue throwbacks for the World Series tonight, man. Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited.
They should break them out. To go back to that 1980 NLCS.
You got to do something.
Where we took them to 5 games.
Yeah, well.
Hey, I've got heckled all day. I went right down there to that Houston Astros store. People were heckling me. They were Eagles fans. We were high-fiving. You know, I had my Phillies vest on, my Phillies suit. You know, I was looking fly and looking like the $1 million that I can be. Me being the man that I am was representing Philly to the fullest. I got my Bryce Harper Phillies headband on right now, my Jalen Hurts jersey. I'm ready to rock this house, baby. Can't go more than Philly to me, baby. You know that. I don't need tattoos all over me. All good stuff.
Take on tonight's game.
Phil's just need to come out and smack Verlander right in the mouth. The bum that he is.
All right.
I totally agree with you. The bat's got to come alive, unlike
this place is rocking. There's a bunch of Eagles fans here.
Who's player of the game for tonight's Astros Phillies?
I think this is like 75% Eagles.
I don't think he knows what you're asking, Sean.
The Birds.
I would bet.
I'm high-fiving everybody up the steps.
All right, Fuge. Well, listen, we're gonna let you go because, unfortunately, with the amount of screams coming on in the background, it's kind of drowning everything else out. But enjoy the game. And make sure, hopefully, they'll show some of the highlights up there for the World Series inside Reliant Stadium.
Yes, sir.
All right, Phillies,
man.
enjoy the
Have a
game.
great time.
All right, everybody have a good night. Go Phils and go Birds!
Yeah, man.
Holy Jesus. I
I
can
need to
only
take a shower after that conversation.
I don't have a feeling we're going to see him on CNN in a not so good way.
probably so. Knowing Fuji, probably so, but it's going to be, holy Jesus. I can only imagine after a couple more. He told me I think he was up to, I don't know, at least a dozen.
Wait, hold on. Did he say he was at the Astros store? Maybe he drank too much and accidentally bought an Astros hat while he was there.
No, I seriously doubt it.
No.
I seriously
It will
doubt
be
it.
will be interesting. I could then call out Fuji in that end. I could be like calling out you whenever you have your Bucks shirt on or your Lightning shirt on. Sorry, Angel. I love you, buddy.
Yeah. Well, listen, as I mentioned earlier, for some reason, and if for people who don't know, as far as well, get into Phillies talk here a little bit, and then we'll get into the Eagles as far as our thoughts of what's going to happen. As it's going to be a limited show once again tonight, only because we have both teams in action. We want to make sure that we get everybody in time to be able to watch it. Someone says they're live in NRG Stadium where the Eagles fans are in charge. Rick Marcus. Yeah, well, Rick, good to see that you're out there. So I appreciate it. So that's a good deal for Rick to be out there. So we do appreciate the comment there. So Mattress Mac, born and raised in, or at least raised in the Texas area, has done a lot for a lot of people. Came here to Florida, supplied a lot of mattresses for the people who lost a lot of things in Southwest Florida. Continues to do great things, and apparently he has. And I want to make sure if I'm inaccurate for someone to tell me, but I believe he has a $75 million bet for if the Astros win. He's taking that money and helping a lot more people in the community that need help or something else of that nature. And I don't know if it's a Vegas bet. That I don't know. I was trying to get confirmation with I forgot to ask Sean to see if it was a Vegas bet or something else. But he's got $75 million on the line. Astros win, then he's good. He'll spread more help, more love, and everything else that Mattress Mac continues to do. He's been in Philly, where he said where a lot of the Phillies fans and a lot of Philly folks have treated him well, except for last night. And I didn't hear what the reason was behind it. I haven't read anywhere the reason why he was heckled. I'm not too sure. But all I know is got Mattress Mac fired up. I tried to, as I said, I reached out to Sean earlier. He was nice enough to send me the video, and I tried to follow up with him with the question of what happened, what got him so fired up. But I know Sean is busy. I know he's got shows and stuff to do. And again, I appreciate everything that Sean always does. But Sean didn't get back to me to let me know exactly what was said to Mattress Mac. But here is the 6-second clip of Mattress Mac. And again, it is verbal. So for those who do not like the F word, I'm just forewarning you, that's the clip that's about to come out. So here is Mattress Mac being heckled last night.
Fuck you, never go home. Fuck you, man. No, never go home. Fuck you.
So again, I don't know what got him so fired up. I'm assuming as usual, Philly being the way Philly is, something must have been said to him in something he'd agree upon. Again, that man has a golden heart. Obviously, a lot of Texas fans can tell you the same exact thing. He's got a major, major golden heart. When he's been down here in Florida, obviously for the Philly fans and the folks in the area, absolutely love him because, again, he didn't have to do what he did for Southwest Florida. By any means whatsoever, he didn't have to. He's a businessman. And so for him to do what he did for folks who lost everything, again, at least I will say, as much as I'm grateful for Sean, the next video that I'm about to play about him is the same way I'm grateful for Mattress Mac for helping out the people that he has. So here is the video that Sean had sent here to the show, and he talks about Mattress Mac and then obviously the game for tonight.
All right, guys. Phillies, Astros, Phillies, because we're in Philadelphia. Come on, guys. You got to leave Mattress Mac alone, right? Think about this. If see what happens when you use Mattress Mac and get mad at him in the corridors. $75 million on the line, and it's going to be used like help others. He opens his furniture store when people are down and out and need something, or when a hurricane hits, and lets them in there on the new furniture, everything. The guy's a giver. And then a corridor, come on, man. There's got to be a certain point in time, fellas, that you leave a guy in his 70s alone who's a giver and not a taker. If he was a Philadelphia guy, you guys would love him. He's your type of guy. He's passionate. He loves sports. You guys are in a great sports town in Philly. See what happens, though, when you go to Mattress Mac? He goes savage, man. And we throw a no-no. 4-pitch no-no. Listen, it's a great series. And Mattress Mac, he's like Mattress Mac's dog. He's a dog. And I know Philly fans like a good dog, meaning great player, just like we do. A guy who's going to win no matter what. And that's Mac. Matter of fact, if you guys ever get to Houston, all you Philly fans, we'll welcome you with open arms, like in Game 6 or 7 if it goes that far. 6, obviously, but if it gets to 7, we welcome you here. And heck, you can even go in the Mac's store and he'll probably give you a discount. I'm kidding. But Mattress Mac, you can't go on the goat like that. See what happens when you get Mattress Mac mad? He comes out and boom. Javier's watching, go throw a no-hitter with 3 other cats. This is a great series. I know here as fans and media, we love the passion of Philly fans and Philly, the players. Boy, are they good. And you got us with a shutout. We go, no. Now what happens? Game 5, Game 6, it's going to be fun to see. We love the passion. I know I do too. Tough place to play is Philly, but so is Houston. But we got the 2 best in it. Now the Eagles and Texans, let's leave that alone. Okay. We know that, guys. I'll give you that. Eagles are a Super Bowl team. But we got the World Series, so best to you Phillies and your fans and your great media. And we'll keep on, keeping on. But, guys, let's all – Mattress Mac? Come on, he's the man. You don't want to go on Mattress Mac again. He'll go all dog and go – you do not want him to go all scorched earth on you and get another no-hitter. All in good fun. Astros, Phillies, let's go. And let's find out, as Denzel would say, who ain't got shit on who. Love you guys, man. Appreciate the series. Appreciate this great competition. Have a good one.
Thanks to Sean for putting that video together for me. And again, Sean, as much as I will say this much, I've tweeted a lot for Sean, not because he's never asked. I'm going to put that right out there. Sean has never asked me to tweet out anything for him, but because he's, again, just as legendary as Tony Bruno. Always brings it every single morning. And by the way, you guys can find him on Sports Talk 790 from 6 to 10 Central Standard Time on Sports Talk 790. Of course, you can find it right on the iHeartRadio app. But Sean always, if he says something, he's going to end up doing it. Now, of course, me, because I was trying to have fun with him, but he said it was if I was being sarcastic, and yes, I was being sarcastic. More importantly, because I want Sean to understand that when he sees his video clip back. But again, Sean, thanks for the video, and he's absolutely right when it comes to Mattress Mac. It was. I guess shame on us because they ended up doing the no on us last night and 5-0. It's a tough pill to swallow because again, this series now continues. And not only does it continue tonight in Philly, but also you're going back to Houston. And that momentum, if the Phillies lose again, and Dylan, you know this more than anybody, as much as you follow baseball like the rest of us here, but you talk about a momentum shift that if the Astros come out on fire tonight, it's going to be extremely hard to pull off a Game 6 win.
Oh, I think so, especially. Yeah, I mean, a no-hitter in general is so demoralizing for a team. I mean, just mentally, and especially when you have to come out and play the next day. Obviously, you kind of have to throw things out of the window, but you really wonder what this Phillies team is going to look like heading into the early parts of the night. I think really these first 4 innings of this ball game, the first half of this ball game, is really going to be the telltale sign of what Phillies team we're going to get. Are we going to get this power-hitting team that's kind of cruised their way into the World Series, that's kind of gotten this team to this point that they've gotten to, which is a World Series berth that they ended up getting to? Or are we going to see the team that got no hit yesterday? I think that's a real question. I think you wonder where the mentality of this team is right now, especially after such a demoralizing loss, especially it happening in your home ballpark. It's not like it happened in Houston. It's not like it happened somewhere else. It happened in your home ballpark. to get no hit in the World Series, the second time it's ever happened. I mean, the Houston Astros wrote themselves in the history book last night, and you wonder where this Phillies team is going to be. Again, they broke out the baby blues tonight. Maybe that will bring something special. We've seen special moments. I remember 2019, that Bryce Harper home run against the Cubs, that walk-off win. That was so insane. When he hit that home run and they wore those baby blue games, that was so much fun. So maybe that'll bring them some luck tonight. I don't know. I don't know what, luck will be brought for them, but it's definitely one of those games where you got to wonder where the mentality of this team is heading into tonight's game, especially after a demoralizing loss. If they lose tonight, I think, especially if it's the way it's been the last couple of nights, I don't see Philly winning Game 6 in Houston. I just think Houston then becomes too much because Houston is a very good team. Out of all the stuff that they've said, out of all the cheating stuff that's happened, this is a very good team. They've had a lot of turnover, but they've been able to bring in a lot of guys from their system and you really keep guys homegrown. So I like what the Houston Astros have done in terms of kind of rebuilding for the next era of Astros baseball. But we'll see.
Sean?
I think it's going to be a nice battle tonight. I think we're going to regroup, like Dylan said. I think that no-hitter left a bad taste in their mouth, and I think the bats got to come out hot instead of cold like last. And I think Syndergaard, like Fuji said earlier to us, has some playoff experience. I think his arm's fresh. I know his velocity kind of dipped, but I think he's up for the opportunity to be on this mound tonight on a big stage. So I see big things for the Phillies, even when they're wearing this baby blue. It's something special, like 1983X.
Right.
What about you,
Ryan?
Well, Syndergaard's 2-1 in the playoffs in the 8 appearances that he's made. He's got a 2.30 ERA. When you look at Verlander, his playoff career pre-World Series, he's 15-5 with a 3.04 ERA. In the World Series, he's 0-6 with a 6.07 ERA. So something's got to give tonight. Verlander's not going to make the same mistakes that he did in Game 1. He's just not going to. He's a smart pitcher. He's learned from it. And again, like Dylan said, to go from a 7-run barrage to getting no hit, how does that affect the psyche of the Phillies? Now facing Verlander again, coming off being no hit. And it's not like they had a day of rest in between. They have to get right back out there. I sort of disagree with everybody. I think Houston now has the momentum. I'd like to pick the Phillies today just because they're at home, but I don't see it. I've seen this same song and dance before with other teams, and I just think Verlander comes out, learns from what he did. I'm not saying Syndergaard's going to have a bad game. I just think that, with all of the Houston's trying to tune all that cheating stuff out. They have the momentum. They want to prove what they're worth. I just think that Houston comes out. Now, it's not going to be a no-hit game, but I just think Houston comes out, puts the clamps down, does what they have to do, and they'll probably win a close one like 4-2 or 5-3 or something.
Well, we shall see.
Angel, we were talking about Mattress Mac. I found an article here, and it just basically says, a Phillies fan was heckling Mac the whole game and followed him out to the concourse at the end of the game. They said the fan continued to shout negative comments about the Astros, including that there were a bunch of cheaters, that Jose Altuve will never make the Hall of Fame. We should take their jerseys off to see if they're wearing buzzers. And he had had enough of it, and that's when he snapped. So that's what set him off.
I will say there was a very, as much as, it sounds like Mattress Mac is a great human being and all the stuff that he's done, I will say there was a funny tweet that was posted on Twitter yesterday that said, Philly broke Mattress Mac yesterday. And I kind of got a chuckle out of it. Obviously, what he's done in the community was good, but obviously, being a guy on Twitter and being social media, around that and stuff, I did think it was the tweet in terms of that was funny. But, obviously messing with, I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, I think you should have fun messing with fans, but obviously don't go too far out of the way. I think there's a certain, kind of respect at that point. So, but that's
I know I've been in that situation, going down to Philly or going to Washington or going up to New York, and you're wearing the other team's colors. when you get heckled enough and you get sick of it, you are going to snap back at some point. Rather than if they shut up after a while, you can deal with it. But if they keep on you constantly, like a whole game, you're going to have to stick up for yourself. And I just think that's what he was doing yesterday. I know I've done it. I've been at plenty of games where I've gotten razzed and razzed and razzed, and you just get sick and tired of it. So.
No, you do. Listen, everybody's done it. Everybody. I don't care if you're. There's been people that have been at their job sites, and everybody likes to laugh and joke and try and make their job sites as humorous as possible. But you have some people that a lot of times end up. What's the word I'm looking for here? They'll hug you the same way to the point where it just gets, absurdly ridiculous, and unfortunately. Yeah, he probably had enough. He probably just thought, you know what, I'm done with this. I had fun with everybody else, but it does get to a point in time where it gets to be a little bit too much. So my thing is that I don't really care for people who want to be just that dumb. It makes absolutely no sense to me.
I want to say right now, Meek Mill is writing with the Philly Fanatic right now pregame. I don't know. Oh, they just switched it over. But Meek Mill was rapping at the Phillies game and was riding on the four-wheeler with the Philly Fanatic, which is amazing.
Dreams and Nightmares.
Yes, sir.
What the Eagles song was.
Yeah, he was doing the Eagles song for the Phillies. And
on the Phillies game, winner of Game 5 that's tied up and has won the series that is 70.3% of the time.
Wow.
With that.
Yeah, I think if Verlander comes out, and Ryan, you made a great point there. I think if Verlander, kind of rebounds from the last game he had. I mean, Verlander, he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. I mean, you can't take that away from the guy. He's, been consistently one of the best pitchers in baseball. And if he comes out just vintage, lights out Verlander, it's going to be a tough night again for the Phillies. And unfortunately, then you got to go to Houston, a very viable place. Obviously, they've won in Houston, and they've clinched in Houston. So Philly knows what it's like to clinch in Houston, which could end up happening again this weekend.
Yeah.
But if Verlander gets them tonight, I mean, it's going to be very tough. And you then wonder what the mentality of that team is, especially with the bats, if they get held tonight by Verlander.
Well, and I said before, Verlander doesn't have the most stellar record in the World Series. I mean, he's 0-6 with a 6.07 ERA.
Yeah.
Something has to give tonight, but I just think that he's not going to make the same mistakes in tonight's game that he did in Game 1. I'm looking for Verlander to go at least 6 innings tonight. And if he's pitching really well and he's shutting him down, I know it's probably not going to happen, I would let him go as long as he can. You just gotta empty the refrigerator now. It's the best. It's the best of 3 series is what it is. So
well, or you decide. I mean, I know they're probably not going to throw him out tomorrow, but I mean, if you decide you want to have him in case of Game 7, you do gotta prep for future games upcoming in terms of the pitching staff. So if the Astros say, hey, we'll pitch you 5. Leave you maybe an inning of maybe relief work on Game 7 on Sunday. That could be a possibility as well. There's a lot of options that the Astros really have. The ball is really in the Astros court right now. All the momentum is in the Astros court, and the Phillies are just going to play with house money at this point. Really, the Phillies are the team that needs to kind of figure out what their game plan is going into tonight. So it'll be interesting. It'll be an interesting game. I'm excited to see what's going to happen tonight. It should be fun.
Well, I hope so. I just, again, you want the momentum to stay in Philly at least for the time being.
Yeah.
And I know, I guess last night they were supposed to wear the baby blues. I guess that got confused, and they wore the pinstripe. So I know there's been a lot of uniform changes throughout the entire series.
Throwback Thursday.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see exactly what ends up playing out. So let's hope for a Phillies victory tonight, so then they can take that momentum. Because you're going back to Houston, it's not going to be. Listen, Minute Maid Park. We were there last year as far as for Thanksgiving, and I can only imagine from the outside. And I know I hear people saying, it's not as crazy, or listen, every town, every city has its own different environment. I'm pretty sure now that the Astros are going back home, and the fans know they're going back home for games 6 and 7 if necessary, depending how this whole series ends up turning out. you're going to have a whole different fan base there over the weekend on Saturday and Sunday. So that's why it is crucial for the Phillies to win tonight, because I will say this much. Phillies lose it tonight, it's going to be extremely hard to win that Game 6. And if they do Game 7, I hope it won't be the outcome of 93, but it could be the outcome of 93 in like 7-game series.
It could be. And you wonder, too, I mean, you mentioned with the Houston, the crowd, I mean, you wonder how many Phillies fans are going to be there. You got to remember, the Eagles are playing tonight in Houston. It's very, very, very doable to stay in Houston for this game and for Saturday's game. There could be a lot of Phillies fans there as well. It could be a split crowd on Saturday. You just never know what's going to happen in terms of the atmosphere for that game on Saturday. It could be a very Phillies pro crowd heading into Saturday night. Especially if the Phillies win, too, tonight. If they win tonight, it might be a crazy Phillies crowd on Saturday.
Well, it could be, and I'm trying to wrap this up here within the next 3 minutes or so because the games are about to get kicked off. But I guess I'll go quickly around because we didn't have too much time as far as getting into Eagles talk as we get into, obviously, the Phillies being the momentum carrier right here. But we know the Eagles are 7-0, 8-0 as we go into round 8 here. But what do we expect, Sean, out of this game tonight?
I think you're going to see the Eagles just run down their throat, man. 50-50 ball passing, running, and the defense is going to be stellar once again, I think. The secondary is going to play very well. Bradbury and Slay are just top-notch corners, man. They're shutting down the guys that they're on. And just like Fuji brought up, Nico Collins, Brandon Cooks, they're inactive. And by the way, they got like 9 rookies starting for tonight, so I think you're going to see a good ass whipping. So, I mean, what are your thoughts?
I'm hoping for, and again, because the momentum can carry either way, but the teams that we know that we've seen that could be under 500 have played spoilers. When you're the last undefeated team in the NFL, everybody knows that they're the first ones they love to come after. Houston hasn't been playing, extremely bad because they haven't. They've been hanging in there throughout their games this year. Lovie Smith is really trying to get this team turned around. Do I expect for the Eagles to win this game? Yes. Am I completely convinced on them winning the game? Absolutely not, because I'm not coming out here being cocky and saying they should run all over the place. Because, again, this could be a whole different night with the way right now that town and the fields are going through, knowing what the Astros did just last night. So I'm hoping the Eagles win. Yeah. Last week, I think we all said that it was going to be a low-scoring game. Obviously, it turned out to be a complete difference last week. But I'm still feeling the same way that this one. I'm not going too high. I would expect for the Eagles to run this one. And I could be wrong, but I would probably end up saying 17-14 Eagles. So, Brian, your thoughts?
Yeah, right.
So 17-14 Eagles, that's what you're picking?
Yeah.
If you can't beat the 1-5-1 Houston Texans that's depleted on the road, you're supposed to kick their ass. I see a complete destruction. Eagles 38, Houston 13.
All right.
I'm going to go. Well, obviously, my Texans relations. Now, I will say I want to congratulate my buddy Anthony Eclair. He recently just signed with the Tennessee Titans. Congratulations, my man. Very excited for you and your now new career with the Tennessee Titans. I'm going to go interesting here. 26-23 Texans. I think they win by a game-winning field goal. Listen, I know this is crazy, but Davis Mills has shown bright spots in his career. You just never know. These Thursday night games are trap games. You mentioned Angel on Sunday. These Thursday night games are trap games. And when you have a team that's coached by Lovie Smith, when you have a team that, comes in tonight, they're breaking out the red jerseys, battle red. I know there's going to be a lot of Phillies fans there tonight. I know that. I know there's going to be a lot of Eagles fans. But I'm going to go with the Texans winning this game. I think they find a way to get it done. It's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's, as you mentioned, Angel, it's going to be a lot closer than I think what the experts think. I think give me the Texans to cover in this game, in my opinion. But I got the Texans winning tonight. I do have the Texans winning tonight. And I'll allow the Texans to win tonight if only the Phillies can win the World Series and beat the other Houston team. That is my only... If the Texans win tonight, I'll be happy then if the Phillies win the World Series and beat the Houston team. How about that? If the Texans win, then that means the Phillies will win the World Series. That's my kind of hand-in-hand situation there that I hope happens.
All right. Well, we'll see. And again, sorry if we didn't get into all that Eagles talk tonight, but the games are about to be underway here. So
Yes.
once again, thank you for everybody who tuned in today. Again, from overseas, thank you to Sean Salisbury especially for, again, putting that video together last minute for me. As I asked him, and he cordially ended up responding back with it. So thank you, especially when he talked about Mattress Mac, because it's absolutely true. That man should have not been heckled as much. And rightfully so for what he said obviously to the Phillies fan, because there's only so much, and I know how much they can get under your skin, because Flyers fans are relentless for doing that stuff. And that's why I stopped going to a lot of Flyers games for that simple reason, and especially when you sit in the lower bowl, because if you sit in the lower bowl with the Flyers, they just heckle you all night. So, kudos to Mattress Mac for firing back. I'm pretty sure he had enough, but you know what? We'll see. Maybe that fuels Houston to end up winning again tonight. Again, we hope not. We hope that the Phillies end up winning. But nevertheless, we thank everyone for, again, who tunes in from overseas, here stateside, and all around the world. We do appreciate it. Kevin tried to jump on with us tonight. He did earlier, but I know he was also at soccer practice, so I appreciate Kevin trying to jump on. And hopefully he'll be back over the weekend as we get the weekend series going. But nevertheless, thank you to Sean, Ryan, Dylan, for my producer, Debbie, in Studio B. And tread lightly, Dylan.
I will be good. I will be good this weekend, or for this Thursday. Go Phillies. I will say for me, go Texans, but for you guys, I will say go Eagles. And for this weekend, I hope we beat the Temple Owls. So go Bulls. Tampa's team here in college football. But guys, should be a fun weekend of sports. Very excited for this weekend, and always fun to be on with you boys. Let's have a great night tonight.
Yeah, let's do so. So, all right, let's hope for a win. Both teams. Let's see what happens. Go Phils. Everyone, enjoy your night, and we'll see you over the weekend.
Take it easy.